I know you're gonna dig this.
This is Rhine McLin, host of the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center's award-winning show, Funk Chronicles, recorded live here at the DATV Studios in Dayton, Ohio. And now, Skyping in all the way from Atlanta, GA, is the phenomenal, outstanding, award-winning Karyn White and Derrick Muhammad. Welcome.
That's a strong introduction.
I know.
How do you like that?
Oh, that's fabulous.
We love that. That's some power talk. That's some
Okay.
word talk.
You know what, Karyn, I'm gonna start off. I know that you're originally from California.
Yes, I'm representing LA. I love LA. I miss
Okay,
it.
so I'm going to give you credit, and so therefore, you know, you've had a long, distinguishing career, and you've been very versatile, and you probably have lived out your self-titled first album, which was Karyn White, and then which was produced by L.A. Reid and Babyface, which who have Ohio connections. And then you went on to The Way You Love Me, Secret Rendezvous, and then we're going to climax to the infamous, the famous, the well-recorded song of Superwoman. So before I get any further, I want to know what possessed you or what moved you to record Superwoman? And what was the inspiration there?
It was divine intervention.
Oh, boy.
Honestly, I mean, come on, I'm 23 years old. What did I know about being a superwoman? Honestly, but my mother was every bit of a superwoman. I was a superwoman in training. So when Babyface in LA and Daryl Simmons, they all, sang the song for me and kind of played it on piano. I thought it was beautiful and just funny too, because some of the words, were very graphic about eggs over easy, and it kind of reminded me of One Less Bell to Answer. So I love the song. I really felt like it was that song, I'm Not Your Superwoman, that separated me, because Karyn White came out to When I Think About You Loving and I Gotta Get Me. It was cute dance stuff, compared to Pebbles and Jody Wiley and Janet Jackson. But when that song came out, it changed the whole game for me because it was an anthem. And it really connected me to women all over the United States and internationally. So I love the song. I love Babyface, LA, and Daryl for writing the song and giving it to me.
I think one of the biggest tributes to that song is that when you heard Gladys Knight and Dionne Warwick and Patti LaBelle take on that song, it was just like, okay, Karyn White has an anthem here that even the big girls like. And I just think that that's a tribute to you on how well you did that song, how well, even though you were 23 and you may not have known what all that meant, you sang it like you did, and we believed you, and many of us have taken on the mantle of being superwomen in so many ways, which you continue to do.
Oh, yes. And, let me say this. Let me say that I did know it, but I was a baby Superwoman. I couldn't have been a Superwoman because I hadn't lived enough life. But when I sing that song today, oh, you know that I've lived it. I've experienced, I overcame, persevered. That's a Superwoman. 23, you hadn't lived enough life yet. But I will say that, being that three of my favorite artists, come on, Gladys Knight, you can hear even some of the, if you listen to the original Superwoman, yeah, that's all Gladys. So she was definitely one of my favorite artists. Patti LaBelle, being eccentric and being that entertainer that really, when she performs, she just, she's inhibited. She's, she is the show. And that's what I took from her. When I perform, there is no, oh, I have to be cute. I don't know how I'm looking crazy. I don't know what I'm doing. And it's fun. Dionne Warwick, classic songs, timeless. Oh, so come on. I mean, I was really, first of all, I was scared because it was like a year had gone by and they released it. I was like, they're going to take my song from me. Like, I haven't even, they did it like right after. So, but they didn't. And it just, like you said, it was just what I would call a nod of, homage paid. So it was, it was all good. So I really was just honored.
Well, and I think that you carry on today as a Superwoman with all the different activities. And as I was reading information about you, that you were doing interior design, and then you were doing real estate, and then it's like, oh, that's just a sidebar compared to you doing music. You're still singing, you're acting now, you're film producing, you're doing a TV show. But before I get to that, you did The Ritual of Love with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. I said, well, you've had all these top named people who have been an impact in your career. And one of the things that's so admirable about you is that you took time out of your career to raise a family and to step back from all of this and then go full force back in with both feet. You jump back in. And I think that's to be commended for, especially for your children.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of things going on when I stepped away. It wasn't just raising my daughter. That was a big part of it because I was married to a super producer, iconic Terry Lewis of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and we were busy. I mean, we, just as busy as I was, he was double that, and somebody had to step back. We were having problems in our relationship, and my mother was passing, and it was just a lot of things happening. I felt like I was successful at my career goals, but my life wasn't successful. And I had to make some changes. And really, I will tell you, this is a little secret about me. Ever since I was like in junior high, like I went to school with Wendy Raquel Welch from The Game, and Raquel Robinson from The Game. And she'll tell you, like, they used to call me Karyn White in elementary. So I've always been a star. I've always been this go-getter who, put together like a promoter, where can I perform, talent shows, just really pretty much focused on my career. So I was burnt. So if you're starting from like living in Los Angeles, really starting from professionally probably 14, and then all the way, to 25, I say, when I was married, and 26, when, I felt like I said, I knew how to be successful, but everything else was kind of falling. It wasn't happening the way I wanted to. So stepping back, raising my daughter, Ashley, and then Terry and I, we did get a divorce, which was really sad. And then I moved to California, moved to the Bay Area in Oakland, and then to Sacramento. And so raising her, I wanted to be there because my mother was, like I told you, that Superwoman. She was amazing. So I knew what it was to be a great mom. And so I stepped back, but I had no idea. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to just never sing again. It was kind of like time went by, and here's that go-getter again. I'm like, well, if I'm going to be stepping away, I can't just do nothing because that's not how I'm built. I don't even know how to do that. So I'm like, Terry and I, before I had divorced, we had built this massive, I can't even call it a home. It was 30,000 square feet. This beautiful, whatever you want to call it. So I learned so much from this whole project. And I'm a Libra, and I love being, I love beautiful things, being creative. It fits who I am. So I started to say, well, shoot, I moved to California. I moved right across the street from this woman who I befriended, and she taught me how to flip homes. And so I started I would, buy homes in these, $500,000 to $1 million. I kept going up every time I would sell. I would make them beautiful, and I would move every 2 years. And that was the arrangement I had with my daughter. I had to stay in the same school district. And it was very lucrative. It was like, I was making a lot of money. The market, you guys know, the market in real estate was great, especially in California. So after I looked up, I was like, oh, well, okay, I really felt like I didn't know where the industry was going. Rap was becoming popular. And plus, I just felt like I didn't, I think I was depressed, honestly, to be honest. Couldn't see myself, because when you're in this entertainment industry, you really give up every bit of you. And I didn't know how to do that. I was learning. I was a businesswoman, and I wasn't going to do that again. So I just kind of, like I said, sat it out, and then, time wound up passing by, and she was graduating from high school. I was like, what am I going to do next? So that's when I got back in the music and entertainment industry.
Well, and your daughter is what? How old is she now?
Ashley Lewis. She is 23, and she is in Columbus, Georgia at WRBL as a broadcasting journalist. And she's amazing. She's a mini me, but smarter, way smarter.
I had read that, and what I wanted you as the mom to be able to toot your horn for your daughter Ashley on her accomplishments. And just think about her accomplishments are coming about the same time you produce Superwoman, so it runs in the genes.
Yep, and she's got Terry and I, and they're born on the same day. So she's more stable than me, thank God, because I was horrible. I had like this crazy anxiety. So she's like, Mom, she's like chilled and very mature. So she probably raised her a little too fast, but she had to grow up. We did the best we could. So, but she's amazing.
Well, and now, tell me, what do you think about us working on this Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center? What do you think about that?
Oh my God, I am loving it. First of all, I love the funk. I represent the funk, especially on this new CD, GALE the Storm. I mean, you say the higher players, Bootsy,
Slave.
Oh yeah, Slave. George Clinton, which I sang a little bit when I was on the road before we sang together when they were playing at some place. But I mean, that's what I grew up on. And I'm just a funky chick, so I represent the funk. So I am like, I love it, and I'm just, it's well overdue. And I love that you guys are definitely starting this. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Childish Gambino, AKA Donald Glover, who's he's an actor too, and he wrote the show and produced it, and he won an Emmy on Atlanta out here. So his last album is all about the funk. So I was like, yes, it's coming back. I love it.
Well, let's move on and let's talk about GALE and the Storm, because that leads us right up to the funk movement. And then Derrick, I appreciate you being a Renaissance man over there. We're gonna edge you on into this conversation, but I'm just so excited to have been talking to this phenomenal woman, and it just means so much to as we move into this funk music, this funk history, and all the people that are involved. And you listen to how the music is coming back. I was at the Cincinnati Music Festival, and Confunction just showed out, and you know, young and old are lured to the funk music, and even at the time when you just expressed your attitude, you know, I'm funky, you know, so. Yeah. So let's talk about Gale and the Storm. Tell us what our appetite on this.
Okay.
The history behind it, where it is, and Derrick, you are allowed to jump into this conversation now.
Okay, all right. So Gale and the Storm is a movie her and I co-wrote together, and we loosely based it on her life and her manager's life, Jay King from Club Nouveau. But we wanted to really bring back funk music. So we took her loosely based life and created a character, Gale Storm, who is a story about a singer who hooks up with a revolutionary music producer, and they both rediscover their passion along the way, finding themselves, okay? So I think it's gonna be that thing, because we just got finished editing it. We still in some post finalization of the movie, but we really excited about how it turned out.
Yeah, and if you love funk music, I mean, you'll definitely love the soundtrack, love the movie. And my character is like, you know, eccentric, kind of like a Shaka Khan type character. And, you know, I make it clear that I'm not trying to do what the record company wants me to do, which is do the pop stuff, which is what people are doing right now. I hate music. I hate the radio. Everybody's doing the same thing over and over and over. And it's one of his lines from the movie, it says, what? It's the same BS on a loop.
Yeah. You hear the same song every 15 minutes, you know? So the thing about Gale and the Storm is that we talk about the music industry. We talk about people rediscovering their passion again. We talk about just being authentic to yourself.
And also, you talk about, you have people like, you know, Bruno Mars coming in, Sam Smith, Adele. And they're the new R&B soul funk groups. And it's like, we abandon our own history of music.
Our own treasures,
right?
You know, because you're right.
It's terrible.
Because, you know, we black people, we discovered, we invented ragtime, blues, jazz, rock and roll, funk music, disco. And we always abandoned it chasing pop, and then they come around and hijack it and act like they invented everything.
Right, like this is some new, this is funky. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Bruno Mars, all he did was, you know, hijack a cameo or somebody like that. So, you know, but we love
it though. I'm glad that people are, like you said, and I hear that Bruno Mars is going to be working with Larry Blackman cameo. So that's what we want. We want them to pay homage to our icons, our legends, and black people. We need to do that ourselves, because I feel like we don't really pay homage to our legends like we should. We kind of think if they're not on the radio now, we kind of toss them to a side, but they're the ones that, you know, paved the way and laid the foundation for all of us. So I'm so glad to, like I said, be bringing back the funk with Gale and the Storm, and it should be coming out in September, and we would love to do a screening and come to Ohio, because we know that Ohio brings that grease, just like Oakland.
And can I add this too, about Gale and the Storm? There's a story behind we even put in production. We shot in 7 days, 50 scenes. We actually kept the budget low on purpose, and we used some film students from Morehouse that we vetted. Yeah. And we had a 5-person crew. Yep. She executive produced. I directed it. She starred in it. I co-starred. We brung in some actors from Los Angeles, some people from the area that we knew. Her sister made the movie.
Right. And Jay King produced it. Bridget Vaughn.
Bridget Vaughn is exactly. Jay King, Bridget Vaughn were also producers. Bridget also
we
did
got
the
these locations for free where you'll see when you see the film.
Yeah,
it looks like we spent a lot of money.
Yeah,
so.
It looked like we had 20 locations, but we only did 7, but we made like doubled one location as many. And it was really ingenious. And let me tell you about her. We was pulling 20-hour days, and she recorded the soundtrack in 2.5 days while filming the movie. We would get up at 5 in the morning. She'd go in the studio,
5 to
12, record some tracks, and then we'd go off and shoot until what?
2 to 12.
Till what?
2 to 2.
2 to 2?
Yeah, for a week. Yeah. So.
For 7 days. Killing game and exhausted afterwards, but it was really a labor of love, and we're really excited. The soundtrack is incredible.
DOA, who was a bad funky boy,
Derrick Muhammad.
With he's had some hits with Joe recently, but
he's working with Kim now.
Yeah, with Kim. So he did the soundtrack music, and we have some guest star artists on there, independent artists. And I want to say shout out to my independent artists out there too that are, taking this industry by storm, grind, and that's what we're doing. I have my own company, Karyn White Enterprises, where I'm releasing this film. So if I can do it, you can do it. It's a new industry, you guys. And I say this even to my old school musicians and artists out there. It's a new industry, and you got to really just, take it into your hands now. And it's a lot of work, but it's worth it because you get direct access to your fans. And, we don't have these big companies like Warner Brothers and labels telling us what we can and can't do. So I'm saying I'm for it. Let's go. Let's get it. It's a new day.
we took over. We taking charge.
I'm going to jump in for just a second here. First of all, I want to say that I'd like very much to have a streaming of the show, Gale and the Storm, here in Dayton, Ohio, which would be really great. It would be a help for the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center. Maybe we could do a mini premiere. You all could appear and donate some things from the movie to us so we can keep it going. And this is just so exciting to think about how funk has just, it just keeps. They can't kill it. It just keeps coming back. And each time they try to kill it, it comes back stronger than it was before. And then when I'm listening to you young people, and I call you young, that you are energized, you're reaching out to independence, you're telling the old school people, like, you can do more because the times have changed, get involved.
Yes.
And that's good advice. And while I have you there on this, tell me, if you could name 3 things that you would want people to know about this industry, what would they be?
3 things people to know about this industry. Well, definitely
to be successful. To be successful.
Oh, to be successful. Oh, well, shoot. I would definitely say you have to take your power back, and that it's up to you. Your destiny is up to you. Really, how far you want to go. You can't say, you can't put it on the record company or anything else. It's really the work. It's all in how much work you want to do. Next is don't trace trends. Cater to your own fan base. You don't have to have, how many people are there in the United States? I don't know, the millions. All you have to do is have your fan base your core who will support you. So the numbers don't lie. Just cultivate your core fan base, and there's enough room for you. And you do matter. And what else? What would be the third thing?
I know one thing is you got to know the backside of the business, because business is longer than show. So you have to know the business at hand, and knowing the business, you can reverse engineer how successful you can be. So that's what we did with the movie. We knew that we had a target base. We're targeted to her specific audience.
My audience and funk music lovers.
Right.
Not to everybody. And if we get them, great. But if we don't, we're not dependent on them.
Right.
And we really have learned a lot about just what is it called? What we're doing right? We're in the phase of marketing and
promotion and distribution.
And before I would listen to all these brilliant people, and it's like I said, the music. I would say this: you better know that the music industry is not the same. It has changed, and if you keep trying to live in the past with that model, it doesn't work. You know,
that car don't start.
No. And you know what? It's like, it's so great that I'm on a show here with you right now from my home, which, you know, we couldn't do. So I love that we can reach the world just sitting at home. So you can't, you know, it's up to you. Just do the work.
And look, we even got a new website, KarynWhite.me, and we got merch. I'm gonna just do
merchandise.
We got "I Am the Storm" is one of the songs on her soundtrack.
I am the storm, so get up, sit back down.
Yep, she built the last, baby, built the last. So we got promoted all. We P.T. Barnum up in here. We Diddy.
Yeah.
We Don King.
Yes.
Without the mafia.
Okay, let me talk a little bit too, because I'm going to come back to you, Karyn, because we're going to talk about Beauty and the Baller. But I'm going to talk about to Derrick. You know, Derrick, you are president and CEO of Mecca Don Films.
Yes.
Okay. Originally from Youngstown, Ohio, spent some time in Columbus, Ohio. You're a comedian, an actor. What else do you do?
Oh man, I done it all. I even co-wrote 3 songs on her track. And let me tell you,
can you cook dinner? Can you cook dinner?
I can cook dinner. Yes, I can.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I can't hang drywall though. I can't do that.
Okay.
I need the YouTube channel for that one.
You're the compliment of being the Superman.
I could take that. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna own that.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Ryan. I call him Mr. Alchemy because he's a positive. What is it? He just positive affirmations. His whole thing is about yes, we can, and we fight. I'm like, you're a little bit too positive.
Yeah.
Be too positive.
There ain't no such thing. I believe in taking lemons and turning them into lemonade. Mm-hmm. So that's where we are. But let me just say this. She's like, Derrick, I need some help writing a song. I was like, I don't know how to write no song. I can't even sing.
I got a week.
And she had a week. So she put a gun to my head figuratively and like, you gonna write me a song.
If you can help, I said, if you can write the script, you can write lyrics. Come on.
So I wrote 3 of the songs on the track with her, co-wrote Love Quarantine, I Am the Storm, and Hurricane. And I'm proud to say that they are pumping. They might not be the baddest on there, but they pumping. So they dope. I'm gonna toot my own horn.
They know.
But yeah, I'm from.
Hey, Derrick. So you're supposed to be a comedian. You want to tell me something funny?
I hate when people say that. You know what I mean? Like I'm like a dancing bear. Tell me something funny. You know?
Well, that was funny. Right, that was funny. That was funny. You like a dancing bear. That's funny. I'll laugh. You were successful. You made me laugh.
That was funny.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad.
You're done. You don't have to do no more.
All right.
Okay. It shows that you are very spontaneous on reacting to being a comedian.
Yeah, I started doing stand-up after I broke up with my ex-fiance about 8 years ago, and it was better than therapy.
Really? Is that how you got over it? Telling jokes?
Yeah, just telling jokes. That's it.
Okay. So tell me about your acting career. What has your acting career consisted of?
Well, I did a movie in Ohio with Mark Cummings. Shout out to Mark Cummings in Columbus called The Buyout. We won some awards there. I played an attorney in a thriller. It was a suspense thriller, and I was one of the lead characters. And then I've done some short films, but this is my first feature role that I actually had, and I had the privilege of directing. So, but I've been interested in directing and doing my own work for quite a long time. So this is like 17 years in the making, coming true right now.
You know, it's so interesting the fact that both of you all look like no more than 25, 30 years old. I know you're older than that. So
I received
that. And so whatever you're doing has been good, and it shows that hard work doesn't hurt, it helps. And so Derrick, I need to ask you directly, what do you see the importance of the Funk Music Hall of Fame, and why is it necessary that we do this?
I said importance because we have to start giving credit and props to our own creativity instead of waiting for other people to do it, like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like the Smithsonian, waiting on some endowment arts to fund something that we created. Mm-hmm. You know, if we could spend money on Jordans, cognac, big screen TVs, we could throw a little bit of money to our preservation of something that we created, that we grew up on. So I see the importance tremendously, and I salute you all for coming up with the concept, and I want to do everything to help promote it.
How did you hear about it?
Actually, I heard about it through Alfred Fields connected me with David Webb, and David Webb told me about it, and I was like, man, I'm being from Ohio, funk is in my blood, you know? I come up with that funk, baby.
Wait a minute. I have to say this too, because like it is different. I didn't realize like Ohio is a different kind of dude, because he A&R stuff for me. I was like, your ear is impeccable, even though he's not a musician, but that funk, he understands funk, it. Baby. So I was like, wow, even the residue.
It's the residue. It's funky like an old bag of collard greens, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, and you think of Dayton, Ohio, in between all the big cities like Columbus and Cincinnati, and we are really what you would call the funk city, nationally and internationally. I mean, because of Slave and Ohio Players, the Daz, the Heat Wave. I mean, we can just go on and on about the groups that have come out of here, even the artists. So we claim it, and we think that it needs to be here, and we're just so happy and delighted that you all see the need, are going to participate with us and donate to us, and maybe we're just going to be lucky to have you do a premiere of this movie, Gale and the Storm. I really like those t-shirts there. I am the storm. I am the storm. And so we might be exchanging t-shirts that we'll give you a funk t-shirt in exchange for I am the storm. So I like that idea. But since you got other things going on, I got to go back to Karyn at this point, and let's talk about, I said, well, this is, you know, you heard of Beauty and the Beast, and you heard of Beauty and this and Beauty and that, and now I got Beauty and the Baller, and I'm looking this up, and I'm saying, okay, Karyn, you got to tell me a little bit about Beauty and the Baller. And folks, that's spelled B-A-L-L-E-R. Okay.
Man, it's such a blessing. I mean, I'm going to say this acting, I just started that about 5 years. I started taking lessons, and Michael Ajacque, who is the producer and the writer of Beauty and the Baller, one of my first auditions, I saw him. I was doing this little hood interview radio show, and I met him there. So people just think, first of all, you got to do everything too. That's another tip. You don't know where it's going to come from. You don't know who's watching. So I'm at this show, and you know, he just likes my personality and tells me about that he's, you know, going to be, him and Ray Parker, who is a producer, are going to be putting together, you know, a cast, and wanted me to come and audition. And about 3 months later, I got a call, and he's saying, do you want to audition? And I say, of course. And thank God I kind of started taking acting lessons, because it was on the bucket list when I said, when I get back in the industry this time, I'm doing it all. So, shooting this was incredible. He funded this whole thing. He got investors, and Ray Parker does the theme song, and Sly Stone is in an episode, Terry from En Vogue, Denise Williams. So it's a really cool show about a basketball player, NBA star, and a girl from the hood. They hook up, and in their life, changes. They move to the suburbs, and I'm one of the girlfriends, Kim Banks. So I'm always trying to get into some mess with her, and I'm a baller's divorced baller, kind of close to my life. But yeah, and so the show is about Black love. They're fun, they're beautiful, and I'm just so proud. It's on Centric on Saturdays at 7, so you can catch it there, and it's going to be the whole season. 7:30 and then 10. Yeah, 7:30, and they repeat on that show. So I mean, God is so good, because I have been doing acting. This show took like 4 years to get picked up, so it wasn't. I thought it wasn't going to get picked up. I mean, come on, you think 4 years goes by, and so Michael Jacqueline calls me a few months ago. He's like, our show got picked up. I'm like, whoa! So just another blessing, and I will definitely say that acting has been a challenge, because I do all these auditions, right? We come and, we submit, and I was going to, and even though I was Karyn White, it didn't matter. It's a bride. So I don't know, maybe over 100 auditions, getting callbacks, not getting the role. It really humbled me. And the great thing about acting, I love how it's helped me with just my whole confidence, because I mean, I think if you have to, you have to play all these different characters, which I love, and you just have to really be able to know yourself fully to get to every emotion that you want to get to. So I'm excited about the show, and we got, hopefully it'll get picked up, but we'll pray about that.
Second season,
if you guys watch the show.
Is Tommy Ford in that show?
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Tommy. He was in the show, and Dorian Wilson is in the show. But Tommy definitely was. So it was. I'm so glad that we have that memory of him. Some new work that to be able to remember Tommy Ford, the great Tommy Ford.
Yeah. One of the things I want, first of all, we really thank you for taking time out of your schedule to do this with us. It's been such a delight. And what I want to do at this time is we'll start, Karyn. We're going to let Derrick talk first. And so, Derrick, would you have any closing thoughts that you would like to give to the listening audience about the Funk Music Hall of Fame and whatever that you're doing that to keep things moving forward and making an emphasis on how important it is for Black people, African Americans, Negroes, colored people to I probably missed some along the way to preserve their history, to preserve it and protect it.
Oh, absolutely. Like I stated, it's very important for us to take ownership of all the great things. Like there's, the Black man invented the peanut, stoplight, gas light, gas mask, hell, I even heard he did the light bulb, but somebody took credit for it.
Yeah.
My point is, we are responsible as Black people, proud Black people, to support each other, not only just in music or in film, but even in a business. Like, stop going to other people outside our communities when we got other people in our communities that provide the same services. And those who are in business have to provide a good service. So with the Funk Museum, I believe that we should really, really take ownership and pride in supporting. It don't even take a lot. Just if a lot do a little, it will work. You don't have to take 10 people throwing $1,000 together. It could take 1,000 people putting $10 together and can make things happen. So is it vital that we take some kind of pride and promote and support the Funk Museum, because that's something that we created out of our legacy, out of our DNA. So.
Woo, go ahead, boy.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Behind that, because I can't.
Hey, Superman. Yes. All right. Now I'm going to go over to the Superwoman. Superwoman, you got to do two things for me. One is I want to hear a song from the new album, the movie soundtrack. Gale and the Storm. And then secondly, we want to end up with you doing Superwoman.
All right.
All right.
Ooh, I can do that. I can do that. Let me see. Oh, this is the limited edition. So let me see what's on. This is Gale and the Storm.
Gale and the Storm. Let me see that again. Hold it up a little. Gale, hold it up. Gale and the
It's
Storm.
not going to be the official one. That's the limited edition one.
I like those glasses.
Oh yeah, I got my 70s on, huh?
I like that look. I like that look. Even down to the headband, you know.
I got the headband. Yeah. 70s. I don't even know which one to do with her. Which one? Something. I don't know.
You want to be up with it?
I don't know. I'm walking.
There you go.
You don't have a clue. What you do is gonna catch up to you. You're just a blind man walking. Just keep on faking it. Oh, that fakage just won't last. I think I want to speak on it, yeah. This is when I get my Al Green on this one. I think I want to clap on it right now. So anyway, that's a little bit. That's called Blind Man Walking. And then,
listen, you got everybody over here just clapping and snapping and walking. I like that. I like that song. Okay.
Oh, we should have did more of a funk one. But anyway, hopefully you guys will pick up the soundtrack. Go to KarynWhite.me. You can hear all the songs. And so I want to dedicate this to all the women out there. You know, we got to love one another more. We got to support each other. Stop tearing each other down, right?
Like Atlanta Housewives.
So, I'm not your superwoman. Snap for me. I'm not the kind of girl that you can let down and think that everything is okay. Boy, I am only human. Yeah. 'Cause this girl needs more than occasional hugs as a token of love from you to me. Yeah. I fought my way through the rush hour, trying to make it home just for you. I want to make sure your dinner will be waiting for you. But when you get there, you just tell me you're not hungry at all. You said you'd rather read the paper and you don't want to talk. All right.
All right. You know, I'm just so, I'm speechless almost. But the last thing, Karyn, what would you want to give our listening audience? I can't thank you enough. I just got so excited there. I had to wake up there for a moment. I was in a trance. What would you like to say in support of the Funk Music Hall of Fame?
Wow, I just definitely want to say that it is definitely, you know, something that we should take pride in. Like Derrick said, it's our legacy. We built this thing. We know about the funk, so we got to support it. It's in our DNA, and for our love of preserving what is rightfully ours. And so we can say that we created that. That's ours. So.
We did that.
We did that.
We did that. I like that. I want to thank you, Derrick Muhammad, Karyn White, for being with us. This is Rhine McLin for the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center's Funk Chronicles. Until the next time, keep it funky.
Woo! Keep it funky, yeah.
Wow, child.